Stop scrolling right now, chosen one. Do not move past this moment like it is ordinary, because you were not guided here randomly, and you are not listening by accident. I am interrupting you on purpose. I am reaching into the middle of your day, into the middle of your doubt, into the middle of that quiet decision you were about to make to stop hoping, and I am saying, stay. Listen carefully, my beloved child. Because this is not just a message you found, this is a door I am opening in your understanding, right now, at the exact moment you were most tempted to give up. I know how long it has been. I know how tired your faith has felt. I know the weight of waking up and acting like you are fine, while inside you are counting months, counting years, counting prayers, counting the number of times you said, maybe this is it, only for it to turn into another almost. I saw the quiet disappointment. You didn't even speak out loud because you didn't want to sound ungrateful. I saw you smile for other people's breakthroughs, while your own heart whispered, "What about me?" I saw you get your hopes up just enough to get hurt again, and I saw you lower your expectations to protect yourself. I saw the way you told yourself, "It's okay," when it wasn't okay. I saw the way you started bracing for letdown as if that was wisdom. And I am telling you now, your pain has not been invisible to me, and your waiting has not been wasted. You have been calling it a delay, and you have been wondering if it was my denial. You have been asking, did I miss it? Did I do something wrong? Did I wait too long? Am I too late? But hear me, this delay was not rejection. This delay was not punishment. This delay was not me forgetting your name. Not because I lacked power to move quickly, but because I loved you enough to align the thing you asked for with the person you are becoming. Not because I enjoy watching you struggle, but because I refuse to release you into something you are not ready to carry. Not because I ignored your prayers, but because I was answering them deeper than you could see. Yes, I shut doors. Yes, I slowed certain timelines. Yes, I allowed the gap between what you expected and what you experienced to stretch longer than you wanted. And it hurt, because you thought you were being pushed away. But I am telling you the truth now. I locked certain doors with love. I blocked certain paths with protection. I held back what looked good because it was not aligned, because it would have demanded a version of you that would have been exhausted, anxious, and always trying to prove your worth. I did not want you living on the edge of panic, calling it destiny. I did not want you chasing what was never assigned to stay. I did not want you begging for a seat at tables that would have diminished the gift I placed inside you. You thought you were being delayed because you weren't enough, but I am saying to you, this was alignment happening on purpose. I was arranging timing. I was rearranging people. I was shifting environments. I was moving pieces you could not move, and I was keeping you from stepping into something too early, because what arrives early often leaves early. I was not building a moment. I was building a foundation. I was not preparing a temporary win. I was preparing something that can rest on peace and remain. Listen to me, because this is where the enemy tried to twist your perspective. He tried to convince you that silence meant absence, that waiting meant failure, that the door staying shut meant I said no. But I am the one who sees the whole road. I am the one who knows what is on the other side of almost. I am the one who knows what would have broken your heart if I let it happen the way you demanded. And even in your frustration, even in your confusion, even in your tired prayers that sounded more like sighs than sentences, I was still guiding you. I was still holding you. I was still keeping your promise warm. And now, I am telling you why you are hearing this at this exact time, because you have been standing at the edge of quitting, not quitting life, but quitting expectancy, quitting the belief that it can still happen for you, quitting the tenderness of hope. You were about to settle into survival and call it maturity. You were about to make peace with less, not because you wanted less, but because you were tired of being disappointed. And I am interrupting you because I will not let you shrink your faith to match your past. I will not let you interpret a locked door as a lack of love. I will not let you mistake my timing as my distance. Stay with me. Do not rush ahead of me. Do not click away because your mind is busy, because your heart is guarded, because your logic is asking for proof before it surrenders again. I am about to show you what has been changing beneath the surface. I am about to name the signs you have been noticing but doubting, that strange shift in your spirit, that restlessness with what used to satisfy you, that quiet stirring that keeps returning no matter how many times you try to bury it, that sense that something is ending, even if you can't explain it. That calm that shows up in the middle of uncertainty and makes no natural sense. Those are not random feelings. Those are not mood swings. That is me, aligning you. Because the delay did not mean I denied you. It meant I was positioning you. It meant I was clearing space. It meant I was preparing the exact conditions where what I release will not come with chaos, but with confirmation. Not with striving, but with peace. Not with you having to force it, but with you recognizing this is from God, because it will fit, it will settle, it will make your spirit exhale. So, take a breath right now, and let your shoulders drop. I know you've been carrying the weight of when. I know you've been carrying the pressure of how. I know you've been carrying the fear of, what if it never happens? But I am telling you this is a turning moment if you will stay present. I am going to walk you through what happened in the waiting. I am going to reveal what I protected you from. I am going to show you where I aligned the right door while you were staring at the wrong one. And I am going to give you the next instruction not to make you strive harder, but to help you recognize what I am already doing. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not late. You are right on time, because I am the one who keeps time. And what you called a delay was me holding the door until your peace could walk through it without trembling. And now, because you are still here, because you did not click away when your heart wanted to protect itself, listen carefully, my beloved child, because I am about to touch the part of you that you kept hidden, even from the people who love you. I saw the tears you wiped before anyone walked into the room. I saw you turn your face toward the wall so no one would hear your breathing change. I saw you sit in the bathroom a little longer, not because you were doing anything, but because you needed a place where you didn't have to perform strength. I saw you get in your car and just sit there, hands on the steering wheel, staring forward, trying to gather yourself before you had to become fine again. I saw the way you smiled in public with that practice smile, the one that says, "I'm good," while your chest felt heavy, while your thoughts ran in circles, while your stomach tightened every time you checked for news that never came. I saw you answer texts with kindness while you were fighting tears. I saw you show up for everyone else while you were waking up tired, not just physically tired, but soul tired, the kind of tired that sleep does not fix, the kind that comes from carrying unanswered prayers with a straight back and a quiet mouth. And I need you to hear me clearly. You were not overreacting. You were not weak. You were not too much. You were under pressure, and you were still choosing to believe. You were stretching, and you were still showing up. You were being tested by time, and you were still holding on to me with the last thread of your faith, even when you did not have words left, even when your prayers sounded more like sighs than sentences. I saw the nights you tossed and turned, the mornings you stared at the ceiling and tried to talk yourself into hope one more time. I saw you swallow your disappointment so you wouldn't sound ungrateful. I saw you tell yourself, maybe I'm asking for too much, when the truth is, you were simply asking me to be who I said I am. My beloved child, I did not just notice your pain, I recorded it. I did not just observe your tears, I counted them. I did not just hear you when your voice was strong. I heard you when you whispered in the dark, when you couldn't let anyone know how close you were to giving up. And I will anchor this to my word, so your heart can stop arguing with your own experience. Psalm 56:8 says, "You have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Are they not in your book?" Do you understand what I am telling you? I kept count. I kept count of the restless nights. I kept count of the anxious pacing. I kept count of every moment you felt forgotten. I put your tears in my bottle, meaning nothing that fell from your eyes fell to the ground as waste. And they are in my book, meaning the story you thought no one saw. I wrote it down. You thought you were alone in it. You thought you were dramatic for feeling it that deeply. You thought you had to get over it quickly because other people did not understand why it mattered to you. But I am telling you, I counted what they never saw, and I am answering what you whispered in the dark. I heard the prayer you didn't even finish because emotion interrupted you. I heard the sentence you couldn't get out because your throat tightened. I heard the simple, exhausted request, "Father, please, just help me." I heard you when you said, "I don't want to hope again and be disappointed." I heard you when you said, "If this is not for me, then take the desire away." And even that was faith, because you were still bringing me your heart instead of hardening it. Those tears were not proof that you were failing. Those tears were evidence that you were enduring. Those tears were not a signal that I abandoned you. They were a record that you kept loving, kept believing, kept trying, even when life gave you reasons to shut down. Some of you cried because you were waiting on provision and you were tired of acting like it didn't matter. Some of you cried because you were waiting on restoration and you were tired of pretending the fracture didn't hurt. Some of you cried because you were waiting on clarity and you were tired of living in maybe. And I saw it all. I saw you worship with a cracked heart. I saw you serve with questions. I saw you keep your word when you felt like nothing in your life was being kept for you. I saw you choose integrity when shortcuts would have soothed your anxiety. I saw you say, "I still believe," while tears slid down your face, and heaven called that holy. So do not call your tears wasted. Do not call your crying pointless. Do not shame what was actually sacred, because what you watered in hidden places is about to show above the soil. That is why I am speaking to you like this, right now, because I am not only comforting you, I am confirming you. I am letting your heart know that what you carried quietly has reached my appointed time. There is a shift happening that will not require you to explain yourself to people who didn't sit with you in the dark. There is a response forming that will not need your striving to make it real. There is a release coming that will not come with panic, but with peace, because it is not being born from your desperation. It is being delivered by my hand. Look at me, my beloved child. The tears you cried did not mean you were losing your faith. They meant your faith was being pressed, and it did not break. The heaviness in your chest did not mean you were far from me. It meant you were carrying something too heavy to carry alone, and you kept coming back anyway. And I want you to feel the tenderness of this truth. I am not rushing past your pain to get to the promise. I am honoring what it cost you to keep believing. I am acknowledging the quiet bravery it took to wake up again, to try again, to trust again. And now, because I have counted it, because I have recorded it, because I have not forgotten a single drop, I am telling you what happens next. The hidden season is ending. The underground work is coming to the surface. The parts of your life that look barren are about to show signs of life, not loud at first, not chaotic, not forced, but steady, undeniable, and gentle enough that your nervous system can finally rest. You are going to recognize my answer because it will come with a holy exhale. You will know it is me because it will feel like confirmation, not confusion. And the same eyes that watched you cry in private will soon watch you stand in peace, not because you learned how to pretend, but because I have begun to respond. Now listen, my beloved child, because this is where your mind has tried to betray your heart. You felt the quiet, and you assumed I stepped back. You heard the silence, and you concluded I was withholding. You watched days turn into weeks, weeks into months, and you started asking yourself, did I do something wrong? Did he change his mind? Did I mishear? But I am telling you with tenderness and authority, the silence was not absence. The quiet was not neglect. The delay was not a lack of love, not because I was ignoring you, but because I was building what you could not yet carry. Not because I forgot your prayer, but because I was arranging the exact conditions for your release. Not because I was slow, but because I was precise. There are things I do in hidden places, because if I showed you everything at once, you would panic and try to control what was never yours to manage. There are doors I prepare in secrecy because if you saw the blueprint too early, you would run ahead of the timing and exhaust yourself, trying to force a promise that is meant to arrive with peace. I have been constructing behind the curtain. I have been moving pieces you cannot see. I have been shifting schedules, conversations, approvals, resources, and hearts. I have been setting the sequence, because what I release out of order becomes a burden, and what I release without covering becomes vulnerable. You were calling it nothing happening. Heaven was calling it foundation. And I know what it felt like to you. I know how that silence sounded like rejection when you were already tired. I know how it felt when you prayed and then had to go on with your day, still carrying unanswered questions like weights in your pockets. I know how it felt when you did everything you knew to do, trusted, waited, believed, stayed faithful, and still, the situation looked unchanged. I know the specific ache of thinking, if God is working, why can't I see anything? But, my child, do not measure my movement by what your eyes can track. I do not only work in what is visible. I work in timing. I work in alignment. I work in protection. I work in the hearts of people who haven't even met you yet. I work in the closing of what looks like opportunity, but is actually a trap. I work in the slow turning of what must be steady, so it does not collapse when you step on it. And yes, I saw the comparison pain you tried to silence. I saw you scrolling and watching others receive what you have been praying for. I saw you congratulate them with your mouth, while your heart asked, "Lord, am I forgotten?" I saw you sit in rooms where someone else announced their breakthrough, and you clapped while feeling that sting in your chest, that quiet question, "Why not me?" I saw you wonder if you were behind, if you were late, if you were overlooked. And I need you to hear me. Their season is not your schedule. Their testimony is not your timeline. I did not bless them to taunt you. I allowed you to witness it to remind you that I still do it, that I still open doors, that I still provide, that I still restore. And what I have for you is not smaller because you waited longer. Often the opposite is true. Often what takes longer is not delayed out of cruelty, but developed out of care. Because I was not preparing a moment for you, I was preparing a life. I was not preparing a quick answer that would excite you for a week and then demand you pay for it with anxiety. I was preparing something that can sit on peace. I was preparing something you will not have to beg for, bargain for, or bleed for. Hear me. What I am releasing will not require you to panic to keep it. What is from me will not demand that you chase it down the street, like your worth depends on catching it. What is aligned will not keep you in a cycle of almost, of hot and cold, of yes and no, of prove yourself again. The enemy has trained you to associate blessings with adrenaline rush, fear, pressure, scrambling. But my way will be clear. My way will be steady. My way will come with confirmation. You will feel your spirit settle, even if the step is big. You will feel peace, even if your mind is still learning the new. And do you know why the quiet had to be quiet? Because there were voices around you that would have contaminated the process. There were opinions that would have rushed you. There were relationships that would have demanded you stay small. There were familiar patterns that would have pulled you back into what you outgrew. Some of you begged me for clarity, but what you really needed was distance from noise. Some of you asked me to speak louder, and I did not. Because I was teaching you how to recognize me without the drama. My child, I was training your discernment. I was strengthening your inner man. I was making you stable. Because what I am about to place in your hands requires maturity, not just desire. So when you felt like nothing was happening, I was actually creating space. I was clearing room. I was making sure that when the answer arrives, it has somewhere to land. Because you cannot receive new oil into old containers. You cannot receive new people while clinging to old attachments. You cannot receive a new door while standing in front of the one I already closed. The waiting season was not empty. It was full of hidden strengthening, full of unseen rearranging, full of quiet instruction in your spirit, full of me teaching you to breathe again, to rest again, to trust again. I was building your capacity in the dark so you would not collapse in the light. And I know you would have preferred that I explain it while you waited, but some lessons cannot be learned with a speech. They are learned with a season. Some confidence cannot be downloaded, it is forged. Some peace cannot be faked. It must be formed. And that is why I did not respond to your urgency with haste. I responded with wisdom. I responded with order. I responded with protection. I responded like a father who can see what you cannot see. Now feel what is shifting. The silence is breaking, not with chaos, but with clarity. The stillness is changing, not into confusion, but into direction. You are going to notice that you are not as desperate as you used to be. You are going to notice that you are not willing to chase what drains you anymore. You are going to notice that certain doors you once cried over now look smaller, and that is not bitterness. That is healing. That is alignment. That is me teaching you what fits. And hear me closely, because this is the bridge you must not miss. Part of the reason it was quiet is because something had to be removed. Not to punish you, but to protect you. Not to take from you, but to make room for what is truly yours. Not because you are losing, but because you are being aligned. Stay with me, because I am about to show you what I was taking out of your life so the blessing could be safe, so the release could be lasting, and so you could receive what you cried for with peace and confirmation instead of fear and striving. Yes, my beloved child, something had to be removed, and I know you felt it. You felt it when conversations changed, and you could not explain why. You felt it when people who once felt close began to drift. Not with a dramatic ending, but with a slow, quiet distance that left you replaying every moment, asking, was it me? Did I say something wrong? Did I fail? You felt it when the invitation stopped, when the warmth cooled, when the same room that used to feel familiar suddenly felt heavy on your chest. You felt it when a door you expected to open closed, in a way that embarrassed you, in a way that made you question your discernment, in a way that made you wonder if you heard me wrong. You felt it when what used to excite you started to exhaust you, when the environment that once fit began to feel too small, too loud, too shallow, too draining for the person I have been forming in you. And because it hurt, you tried to make sense of it by turning it inward. You carried guilt that was never assigned to you. You blamed yourself for things I was orchestrating. You called it rejection when it was rescue. You called it loss when it was alignment. You thought, if I were better, if I were more consistent, if I were more spiritual, if I were more talented, if I were more lovable, then it wouldn't have slipped away. But hear me, and let this correct you gently. The delay was not because you weren't enough. The removal was not because you were lacking. The shifting was not because I changed my mind about you. It was because I refused to let what I promised you be carried by what cannot sustain it. Listen carefully, because this is the sentence I need to land in your spirit and not just in your ears. I am not removing you to harm you. I am relocating you to align you. I am not cutting things off to make you lonely. I am clearing what would have contaminated your peace. I am not stripping you to punish you. I am lightening you so you can move with me quickly when the door opens. I am not taking away for the sake of taking away. I am making room for what matches the weight of your calling. Because some of what you were holding on to, some of what you were begging me to keep, could not carry your future. It could not honor what I am placing in your hands. It could not protect what I am about to release. And if I allowed it to stay, it would have sabotaged you later, quietly, slowly, and then you would have called it bad luck when it would have been misalignment. Do you know why that no happened? Do you know why that door stayed shut even when you knocked with tears? Because that no saved you from what would have drained you later. That no saved you from a cycle you would have called love, but would have cost you your dignity. That no saved you from an opportunity that looked like favor, but would have demanded you compromise the very peace I have been building in you. That no saved you from an attachment that would have made you chase, perform, and shrink again and again until you forgot who you were. I saw what you did not see. I saw the hidden cost. I saw the fine print. I saw what would have happened after the excitement wore off. I saw the moment when you would have been stuck, tired, and blaming yourself, and I loved you too much to let you call a burden a blessing. And yes, it hurt, because you do not grieve only what was evil, you grieve what was familiar. You grieve the version of the future you imagined. You grieve the way you pictured it unfolding. You grieve the people you thought would be there when it happened. You grieve the fact that you had to let go without getting a full explanation. But I am telling you, you were not crazy for feeling the ache. You were not weak for missing what you outgrew. You were simply human, and you were loving, and you were hoping. Yet even in your grief, I was guiding you. Even in your confusion, I was shielding you. Even when you begged me to hold it together, I was quietly loosening what your hands could not release on their own. Some of you are still carrying shame because you think you lost people. But I say to you, you did not lose what was assigned to your destiny. I separated you from what would have demanded you stay in survival. I separated you from what would have kept you explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. I separated you from what would have applauded you when you were useful and withdrew when you needed covering. I separated you from what could celebrate your gift but could not honor your heart. And I know the enemy whispered, "See, you're too much. See, you're difficult. See, you'll always be left." But I am rewriting that lie with truth. You were not too much, you were becoming aligned. You were not being abandoned, you were being protected. You were not being set back, you were being set apart. Pay attention to how I did it, because it was not always loud. Sometimes I made it uncomfortable. Sometimes I let the sweetness fade so you could finally admit it was not safe. Sometimes I let you see the inconsistency clearly so you could stop spiritualizing what was simply unstable. Sometimes I let you feel the heaviness so you would stop calling it normal. Sometimes I closed the door gently, and sometimes I closed it firmly. Because you kept returning to what I already warned you would break you. And if you are honest, there were moments you felt my restraint. There were moments you felt my hand saying, "Not there, not like that, not with them, not in this season." That was not me depriving you. That was me defending you. And now, my child, I need you to stop apologizing for outgrowing what I removed. Stop reopening doors I closed just to prove you are kind. Stop chasing closure from people who could not hold your heart even when they had access to it. Stop returning to familiar spaces that drain you and calling it loyalty. There is a difference between love and attachment. There is a difference between faith and denial. There is a difference between patience and postponing obedience. I am teaching you to honor the subtraction, because the subtraction was not an ending, it was preparation for a safe beginning. Because, hear me, I did not clear space to leave you empty. I cleared space so the release could land safely. I cleared space so what I place in your life will not have to fight for room against old grief, old patterns, old distractions, and old dependencies. I cleared space so you would not receive a new thing with an old mindset. I cleared space so your blessing would not be surrounded by voices that doubt it, drain it, or manipulate it. I cleared space so when the answer arrives, it will not be a fragile moment you must protect with anxiety. It will be a lasting thing I will cover with peace. So breathe, my beloved child, and let the guilt fall off your shoulders. You did not fail because something ended. You did not miss me because a door closed. You did not get delayed because you weren't worthy. What you are experiencing is alignment through removal. And because I have removed what could not carry your future, you are about to recognize a new kind of readiness in your spirit. Not frantic, not grasping, not desperate. Quiet readiness, stable expectancy. The kind that says, if God brings it, I can hold it. If God opens it, I can walk through it. If God releases it, I will not ruin it by rushing. The space has been cleared, the weight has been lifted, the sabotage has been cut off before it could reach your promise. And now, what you cried for is not coming to make you strive, it is coming to settle. It is coming to confirm. It is coming to rest on the peace I built in you, while you thought you were just surviving. And you will see why I had to remove it, because you are about to receive in a way that is safe and lasting and unmistakably from me. Now hear me, my beloved child, because this is where your heart has wrestled the hardest. You said, if you love me, why did it take so long? You said, if this is mine, why did I have to wait until I was tired? You said, if you heard me, why did the answer feel delayed while my life kept moving? And I am not offended by your questions. I am not threatened by your honesty. I am your father. I know what it feels like to wait while time keeps talking. I know what it feels like to do the right thing and still not see the right result yet. But I need you to let this settle into your spirit with weight and with peace. It took so long because your capacity had to match your prayer. You are not just asking me for a thing. You are asking me for a weight. You are asking me for an assignment. You are asking me for a level that will require stability when it gets celebrated, humility when it gets applauded, wisdom when it gets offered, discernment when it gets surrounded by options, and boundaries when it gets pulled on by people who suddenly believe in you. And if I gave it to you too early, you would have called it a blessing, and it would have become a burden. Not because the gift was wrong, but because your nervous system would have tried to carry spiritual increase with old survival habits. Not because you were unworthy, but because you were still learning how to hold good news without fear. Still learning how to receive without rushing. Still learning how to be loved without performing. Still learning how to have without panicking that it will disappear. You felt stretched because I was enlarging you. You felt pressured because I was reinforcing you. You felt exposed because I was refining you. You felt the discomfort of, I can't do what I used to do anymore, because I was upgrading you from coping to consecration. Some of you think you were being punished because you were uncomfortable. But the discomfort was not punishment. It was preparation. It was my hand expanding the inside of you, so the answer would not break you when it arrived. Because hear me, I do not only care that you receive it, I care that you keep it. I care that you steward it. I care that you are safe inside your own answered prayer. That is why I was building your character when you wanted a shortcut. That is why I was teaching you endurance when you wanted instant relief. That is why I was training your discernment when you wanted immediate clarity. That is why I was strengthening your emotional regulation when you wanted immediate change. Because the blessing you cried for is not meant to be received in chaos. It is meant to be held in peace. And peace is not a mood, it is a maturity. Peace is not pretending you don't feel. Peace is knowing what to do with what you feel and refusing to let fear drive the decision. I was teaching you to pause before you react, to pray before you answer, to listen before you commit, to breathe before you spiral, to separate a trigger from a true warning, to recognize the difference between excitement and alignment. And I know you noticed the internal upgrades, even if you didn't have words for them. You started losing your taste for certain distractions. Things you used to run to no longer soothe you the same way. The conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. The habits that once helped you escape now feel heavy. The places you used to fit now feel like you are shrinking your spirit to stay comfortable. You are not too serious. You are not boring. You are becoming ready. Because I will not pour new wine into an old wineskin. I will not place a new level into a vessel that still leaks through old patterns. I will not release what you prayed for into hands that still tremble every time life gets uncertain. So I taught you how to steady your hands. I taught you boundaries, not because I wanted you isolated, but because what is coming will attract many voices, and not every voice is for you. I taught you to say no without shaking. I taught you to stop over-explaining. I taught you to stop trying to be understood by people who benefit from misunderstanding you. I taught you that access to you is a privilege, not a right, because the next season will require protection. And I was training you not to hand your peace away just because someone asks. I was teaching you wisdom, when to speak, when to stay quiet, when to move, when to wait, when to sow, when to save, when to rest, when to push. You thought you were just getting older. You thought you were just getting tired, but it was not burnout. It was discernment being born. It was appetite changing. It was alignment taking over where impulse used to lead. And yes, I delayed some things because I had to heal parts of you that would have bled on the blessing. I had to touch the place in you that equated love with anxiety, the place in you that equated provision with fear of loss, the place in you that equated opportunity with the need to prove yourself. I was teaching you that you are not maintained by striving. You are maintained by abiding. I was teaching you that your value does not rise and fall with what you produce. I was teaching you to receive without clenching your fists, because what I am releasing is not coming to be wrestled into your life, it is coming to be welcomed. And the version of you that would have chased it is not the version of you that will steward it. So do not be ashamed that the timeline stretched. The stretching was the evidence of expansion. You were growing where nobody clapped. You were maturing where nobody noticed. You were learning obedience in small, quiet decisions that did not look powerful, but built a foundation strong enough to hold what you asked me for. You wanted the blessing, and I gave you the preparation. You wanted the open door, and I gave you the keys. Patience, discipline, discernment, self-control, humility, courage. Because if I give you a door without keys, you will stand in front of it frustrated. But when I build capacity, I do not just give you access, I give you stewardship. And now, my beloved child, this is where you need to pay attention, because you are not only built, you are beginning to sense the shift. Something in you feels different, and you have been wondering why. You are not as frantic. You are not as reactive. You are not as tempted to run back to what I removed. You are starting to desire quality over familiarity. You are starting to prefer peace over attention. You are starting to crave clarity more than comfort. And that is not random. That is not you losing your spark. That is you coming into alignment with the answer. Because when the delay is ending, I do not just change circumstances, I change you. When the season turns, I do not just open doors, I steady your steps. You are going to begin noticing signs, not loud signs that make you panic, but gentle confirmations that make you breathe. Things lining up without you forcing them. Conversations happening without you chasing them. Clarity coming where there used to be fog. A quiet confidence rising where there used to be dread. And you will recognize it. Because it will not feel like scrambling. It will feel like settling. Stay with me, because I am about to show you how to recognize the signs that the delay is over, and how to move without fear as I begin to release what you cried for with peace and confirmation. Now listen closely, my beloved child, because this is where many miss me, not because I am unclear, but because they are used to chaos. You have been trained by disappointment to look for panic as proof that something is happening. You have been trained by survival to believe that if you are not anxious, you are not paying attention. But I am telling you, when the delay is over, my movement does not throw you into confusion. It pulls you into clarity. It does not push you into desperation. It anchors you in peace. And that is why I said, pay attention to what feels different. Because the sign is not only around you, the sign is inside you. One of the first markers is this: an unexpected peace touching the very place that used to spiral. The same situation that used to make your chest tight suddenly cannot control you the same way. You still care, but you are not collapsing. You still desire, but you are not begging. You still want the answer, but you are no longer losing yourself in the waiting. That is not you becoming cold. That is not you giving up. That is me steadying you as I prepare you to receive. Because if you cannot hold peace before the door opens, you will not hold peace after it opens. So, when you notice your breathing returning, when you notice your mind quieting, when you notice you can go a full hour without rehearsing the worst-case scenario, recognize that as a sign. I am aligning your inner world with the outer breakthrough. And with that peace comes clarity. Not necessarily every detail, not the full map all at once, but the next right thing becomes obvious. What used to feel foggy begins to separate. What used to feel like 10 voices arguing in your head becomes one clear instruction in your spirit. You will begin to know what is for you and what is not. You will begin to sense this is a distraction without having to debate it for weeks. You will begin to feel this is aligned without needing to force yourself into excitement, because I am not the author of confusion. When I speak, it may stretch you, but it will steady you. It may challenge you, but it will not degrade you. It may require faith, but it will not require panic. And hear me, renewed hope is a sign. Not loud hope that performs for people, quiet hope that returns when you are alone. Hope that shows up while you are washing dishes, driving, folding clothes, sitting on your bed at night. That moment where you catch yourself thinking, maybe it really is coming. Maybe I'm not forgotten. Maybe this season is changing. That is not your imagination trying to comfort you. That is me whispering to your spirit that you are approaching a new door. Because when I am about to release what you cried for, I do not torment you with false anticipation. I strengthen you with true expectation. I let hope rise because hope makes room. Hope creates posture. Hope lifts your eyes so you do not miss what arrives gently. But there is another sign, and it may surprise you: divine restlessness. Not the restless anxiety that makes you scattered, but the holy discomfort that makes you honest. The sudden inability to keep tolerating what you used to tolerate. The way certain conversations now feel empty. The way certain environments now feel too small. The way you can no longer pretend that something is okay just because you have survived it for a long time. That is not you being difficult. That is me moving you. That is me stirring you. That is me loosening your grip so you will not settle one step before the promise. Because I am not calling you to comfort. I am calling you to alignment. And you will also notice release from confusion. Things you used to overthink will lose their power to hook you. You will stop needing to replay every message, every interaction, every what if. You will begin to discern faster. You will begin to decide with less inner violence. You will begin to trust the witness of peace again. Because I am healing the part of you that thought clarity had to be earned through suffering. My child, you do not have to bleed to be led. You do not have to break down to be guided. I can direct you with gentleness. I can confirm you with peace. Now watch for practical confirmations. Because I do not only speak in feelings, I also move in details. You are going to see new conversations begin to form, and they will feel different, not manipulative, not confusing, not hot and cold. Conversations that are simple, honest, clear. Conversations where you do not feel like you have to audition, where you do not feel like you have to chase a response, where you can be yourself and still be respected. And some of these conversations will come out of nowhere, people reaching out, names resurfacing with new posture, doors you assumed were closed, showing signs of life. Not because you forced it, but because I touched what needed to be touched. You will notice open doors that do not demand you abandon your dignity to walk through them. Hear me clearly. What I am bringing will not require you to shrink. It will not require you to compromise. It will not require you to manipulate or beg or prove yourself. What I bless will not come with humiliation attached. What I align will not come with confusion as the price. If you have to betray your peace to obtain it, it is not from me. If you have to ignore your boundaries to keep it, it is not my provision. If you have to become someone you are not to sustain it, it is not my promise. My gifts come with grace. My doors come with confirmation. My blessings come with stability. And watch this sign as well: sudden closure on distractions. Things that once had a grip on you begin to lose their flavor. The endless scrolling that used to numb you starts to feel like wasting time. The relationship that used to keep you entertained starts to feel like draining your oil. The habit that used to comfort you starts to feel like it is costing you more than it gives. This is not condemnation. This is consecration. This is me, protecting your focus because you are approaching harvest, and I will not let you miss what I am releasing because you were sedated by what never satisfied you. You will also see aligned opportunities, small at first, sometimes disguised as simple invitations, subtle openings, a chance to show up, a moment to speak, a new idea that lands with weight and stays with you. Do not despise the small door. Often I send the first opening as a test of readiness, not a test of worthiness, a test of obedience, a test of discernment, a test of whether you will move with me without needing everything to be dramatic. Because alignment is movement without anxiety. Alignment is obedience without panic. Alignment is taking the next step while staying anchored in me. So I am warning you gently. Do not rush just because you finally feel movement. Do not sprint ahead of peace because you are afraid it will disappear. Do not grab what looks close if it requires you to return to old desperation. I am not teasing you. I am not playing with your heart. I am teaching you to receive like a child who trusts the Father, not like a survivor who expects loss. My timing does not require you to hurry. My release does not require you to hustle in fear. When it is me, you will be able to move and still breathe. And now, my beloved child, seal this in your spirit. Do not just listen, agree, because agreement strengthens your courage. Agreement quiets the voice that says, it will never happen. Agreement prepares your hands to hold what is coming. So if this is witnessing to you, respond right now as an act of faith. Type Amen if you receive this word. Type I will follow peace if you are ready to move without anxiety. Let your response be your agreement with heaven, not for people, not for attention, but as a marker in your own spirit that says, Father, I recognize the shift, and I will not sabotage the release by rushing. I will not miss what you are bringing by returning to fear. I will watch, I will listen, and I will walk through the door with peace and confirmation. Now, my beloved child, do not treat this moment like background noise. Do not let this be something you felt for a second and then forgot, because what I am doing in your spirit right now is not entertainment, it is alignment, and alignment must be sealed. Listen carefully. Agreement unlocks courage. Agreement is how you stop the old voice of delay from talking louder than my promise. Agreement is how you tell your own heart, I will not return to doubt just because I have been waiting. So I am asking you, right here, before we go any further, make a move of agreement, not for people, not for appearances, not for an algorithm, but as a marker in your spirit that says, Father, I hear you, and I receive what you are saying over my life. If you are ready to receive what I have been preparing, take 1 second and like this as an act of agreement. Let that simple action be your yes. Let it be your way of saying, I am not just listening, I am lining up. And I want you to declare it, because there is power when you put your faith into words. Type this in the comments, and do it with intention. Do it with breath in your lungs and truth in your chest. The delay is over. God is releasing what I cried for. Yes, type it exactly like that. Not because I need your sentence, but because you need your own agreement. Because your mouth has spent too long repeating what fear said. Your mind has spent too long rehearsing the worst-case scenario. Now you will train your atmosphere with a different sound. Now you will put heaven's verdict over your timeline. Now you will speak what I am speaking, until your nervous system stops expecting disappointment and starts recognizing promise. And my child, subscribe not because I am begging you to follow a page, but because I know how the waiting tries to wear you down. I know how one hard morning can make you forget everything I whispered to you in the night. I know how a delay can feel louder when you are tired, when you are alone, when you are watching others receive what you have prayed for. Subscribe so you stay covered in reminders when your faith is being tested in the waiting. Subscribe so you do not have to rebuild your courage from scratch every time the enemy tries to revisit an old wound. Because I will keep speaking to you. I will keep confirming you. I will keep steadying you. And I want you anchored, not drifting, consistent, not collapsing, held, not hardened. And I am instructing you to share this with one person, not with a crowd, one person. Send this to the friend who has been questioning if I still see them. Send this to the one who has been smiling in public and breaking in private. Send this to the one who keeps saying, maybe God forgot, while they are still waking up and trying again. Because I am not only answering you, I am touching those connected to you. And sometimes, the confirmation I send to someone else becomes the rope that pulls them out of the pit. Do not underestimate what a simple share can do when it lands at the exact second someone is about to give up. I am able to reach them through your obedience. I am able to cover them through your compassion. Be the messenger. Be the reminder. Be the proof that I still interrupt the scroll with mercy. Now listen carefully, because I need you present for what comes next. I needed you to seal this, because the next part will require you to stop interpreting your life through disappointment. It will require you to let me reframe what you called a no. It will require you to release the story that says, it didn't happen because I wasn't chosen. It will require you to stop punishing yourself for a timeline I was using to protect you. So take a breath, my beloved child. Feel that steadiness returning. Feel that quiet courage rising. This is not hype. This is not a temporary emotional lift. This is agreement settling into your bones. This is you taking your place again. This is you remembering that I am not slow concerning my promise, and I have not been ignoring you. No, I have been aligning you. And hear me, what is coming is not random. It is not coincidence. It is not luck. It has your name on it. It has your tears on it. It has your prayers on it. It has your growth on it. I counted what you cried. I watched what you endured. I saw what you refused to become, even when it would have been easier. And because you stayed soft, because you stayed faithful, because you kept getting up, because you kept choosing me even when you felt nothing, now you are stepping into a release that will not require you to chase. It will come with peace. It will come with confirmation. It will come with a steadiness that feels unfamiliar at first, because you are used to fighting for everything. So do not scroll away now. Do not let your attention drift now. Stay with me, because I am about to show you something you have not considered, and it will heal the way you remember the delay. It will restore your confidence. It will break the shame. It will make the past make sense. And it will position you to receive what you cried for with clean hands and a quiet heart. Now listen, what you thought was a no was me redirecting you to the right door. Yes, my child, what you thought was a no was me redirecting you to the right door. And I need you to hear this with your whole heart, because the enemy has tried to use closed doors to make you question your worth, to make you rewrite your identity, to make you believe you were overlooked. But I am telling you the truth now. I did not deny you. I rerouted you. I did not reject your prayer. I protected your promise. I did not waste your waiting. I used it to move you from what looked good to what would actually be God. Because there are delays you interpreted as punishment when they were mercy. There were moments you called setbacks when they were detours that saved you. And I know you replay it, what you almost had, what you almost signed, what you almost said yes to, what you almost settled into. You keep looking at the calendar, at the messages, at the conversations, at the opportunity that seemed like it was finally your turn, and you ask, why didn't it work? And I am answering you. Not because it was evil, but because it wasn't designed for your calling. Not because it was a bad thing, but because it was the wrong thing. Not because you were unworthy, but because that door could not carry the weight of who you are becoming. Some of you were praying for fruit, but you were standing in the wrong soil. You were asking me to make something flourish in an environment that could not sustain your spirit. And I loved you too much to let you build your future on ground that would eventually crack under pressure. That is why the timing kept slipping. That is why the momentum would start and then stall. That is why you would get close and then feel resistance you could not explain. You thought I was withholding, but I was aligning. I was keeping you from pouring your oil into a place that would treat it like water. And some of you, it wasn't just wrong timing, it was wrong people. You wanted that connection to be covenant, but it was only a lesson. You wanted that partnership to be destiny, but it was only access. You wanted that person to be safe, but they were drawn to your light without honoring your God, and I had to block what you were trying to call answered prayer, because it would have cost you your peace. Hear me. I will never bless you with something that requires you to betray your discernment to keep it. I will never send you a door that demands you abandon your boundaries to enter. I will never lead you into a room where your gift must be diminished to be tolerated. Not because the people were all evil, not because every conversation was demonic, but because it wasn't designed for your calling. And yes, my child, sometimes it was the wrong version of you. I know that is hard to hear, but I speak it with tenderness. There were seasons when you could not yet hold what you asked me for without fear twisting it. There were seasons when you would have turned blessing into bondage because you were still trying to prove you deserved it. There were seasons when you would have attached your identity to the outcome, and when the outcome shifted, you would have collapsed. So, I slowed you down. I delayed the thing you wanted because I was saving you from receiving it with a wounded mind and a rushed spirit. I was building the version of you that can receive without clenching, the version of you that can be celebrated without becoming proud, the version of you that can be trusted with access without losing humility, the version of you that can sit at a table without starving for approval. Do you understand now why I did not let you force it? You call it a detour, but it was. My hand on your shoulder saying, not that way. You call it a closed door, but it was my voice saying, not yet and not there. Because I saw the full cost of what you were reaching for. I saw the fine print you did not read. I saw the exhaustion it would have produced. I saw the compromise it would have required. I saw the grief it would have created when you realized you arrived somewhere that looked like answered prayer, but felt like a cage. And I refused to let you arrive at a place you will have to beg me to rescue you from later. I am not trying to make your life harder. I am trying to make your future safer. And I know you are grieving the almost. I know you are grieving the opportunity that was in your hands and then disappeared. The relationship that felt like it was finally becoming real, and then it turned cold. The job you were sure was yours, and then they went silent. The dream you were building, and then the support shifted. That almost hurt, and you have been carrying it quietly because you did not want to sound ungrateful, and you did not want to admit how much you hoped. But listen to me. My beloved child, I honor your effort. I honor every interview you showed up to with shaking hands. I honor every day you kept praying when you felt foolish. I honor every time you tried again after disappointment. I honor the faith it took to believe when you had no proof. I have not mocked your hope. I have not ignored your labor. But I will not reward you with misalignment just because you worked hard at it. I will not let your effort turn into your entrapment. I refuse to let you settle for what is close if it is not correct. So when you look back and you say, why did that door not open? I need you to shift the question. Ask, what did that door protect me from? Ask, what did that delay save me from? Ask, what did that detour preserve in me? Because some of you would have lost years to something that looked like progress, but would have drained your calling. And I redirected you, not to disappoint you, but to deliver you. I redirected you so your yes would not become regret. I redirected you so your answered prayer would not become your greatest distraction. I redirected you because I am committed to your destiny, not just your desire. And now hear me, because this is where the shift becomes holy. I am bringing you to the right door, not the door you have to kick down, not the door you have to beg for, not the door that requires you to perform for access. The right door will recognize you. The right door will match what I have built in you. The right door will not confuse you. The right door will come with confirmation, peace in your spirit, clarity in your mind, and witness in your heart. You will still need faith, yes, but you will not need frenzy. You will not need to abandon wisdom. You will not need to rush ahead of my presence. So I am warning you with love. Do not let the pain of the wrong door make you suspicious of the right one. Do not let the grief of the almost make you miss the now. Do not become so guarded that you cannot recognize my kindness when it arrives. I am not only releasing what you cried for, I am releasing it in a way that will sustain you. But this next part requires discernment, my child. Because when I open the right door, it will be tempting to run through it with the same desperation you carried in the delay. And I am teaching you to enter differently, to enter with peace, to enter with boundaries, to enter with obedience, to enter with a quiet heart that trusts me. Stay with me, because what I am about to release will not require chasing. it will require receiving. And I am going to show you how I am bringing it so you do not miss it, so you do not mishandle it, so you do not call it too calm when it is actually me. Now listen carefully, my beloved child, because I am about to break a pattern you have lived in for too long. I am releasing it in a way you do not have to chase. I am releasing it in a way you do not have to beg for a response, or force a door, or twist yourself into a version you do not recognize just to be chosen. Hear me. You will not have to manipulate to be valued. You will not have to over-explain to be understood. You will not have to keep proving your intentions to people who have already decided to misunderstand you. I am not bringing you into a season where you earn love by exhaustion. I am bringing you into a season where what is for you recognizes you. Because the old pattern was this: you striving for scraps while calling it faith. You running after what was halfway available and calling it patience. You stretching your boundaries thin and calling it being nice. You staying in conversations that drained you because you were afraid that leaving would delay the promise. You thought if you just tried harder, if you just said it better, if you just showed them your heart one more time, they would finally choose you. But I am telling you, my child, I did not create you to live as an option. I did not form you to keep auditioning for what I already wrote your name on. The blessing I am releasing will not require you to chase it down like it is trying to escape you. It will meet you where I position you. It will come toward you with clarity. It will come toward you with steadiness. It will come toward you with confirmation. And I know you are tired. I know you have been strong for so long that you forgot what it feels like to be held. I know you have been the one who carries everyone else, the one who keeps the peace, the one who figures it out, the one who prays through the night and still shows up with a steady voice the next morning. I saw the way you wiped your tears before anyone could notice. I saw the way you encouraged others while you were secretly wondering if I would ever answer you. And I am speaking tenderly but firmly. You have been strong too long, and I am not asking you to be strong in that way anymore. I am letting you rest without guilt. I am letting you receive without fear. I am letting you be carried by my peace instead of driven by your panic. Do you hear me? Receiving will replace striving, not because you are lazy, but because I am teaching you the difference between effort and anxiety. There is a work that is obedience, and there is a work that is fear. There is movement that comes from faith, and there is movement that comes from trauma. And you have been moving like someone who expects loss at any moment, like someone who believes if they do not chase, it will disappear. But what I am releasing is not fragile. What I am releasing is not unstable. What I am releasing is not dependent on your constant pressure. It is secured by my hand. It is sustained by my favor. It is protected by my timing. I have already prepared the place. I have already prepared the timing. I have already prepared the connection. I have already gone ahead of you and arranged what you could not arrange with effort. I have moved pieces you could not move. I have softened hearts you could not soften. I have closed mouths that would have sabotaged you. I have removed distractions that would have drained you. And I did it quietly, while you thought nothing was happening, while you were counting days. I was counting details, while you were asking, when? I was ensuring right, because I do not just want you to have it, I want you to have it with peace. I do not just want you to enter a door, I want you to stay whole on the other side of it. So I am changing your posture. I am teaching you to stop running after what is not running toward you. I am teaching you to stop negotiating with what already refused to honor you. I am teaching you to stop begging for clarity from people who benefit from keeping you confused. My child, what I bring will not require you to decode mixed signals. What I bring will not punish you with silence. What I bring will not keep you in limbo. When it is me, it will be simple. It will be clean. It will be calm. And yes, it may still stretch you, but it will not degrade you. It will not require you to lose yourself to keep it. And some of you are going to need to let this truth heal you. You were not rejected because you were lacking. You were exhausted because you were trying to pull harvest out of ground I never planted you in. You were worn down because you were watering places I already told you were barren. You were pouring oil into containers that could not hold it. And you called it love, and you called it loyalty, but it was fear wearing a holy name. So, I am delivering you from the need to chase. I am delivering you from the addiction to proving. I am delivering you from the belief that you must suffer to be chosen. I choose you in peace. I lead you in peace. I release you into peace. Now listen, because when I say release, I am not talking about one narrow thing. I am speaking across your life, because I am the Lord over all of it. Release can look like provision, showing up without you scrambling, doors opening with the right terms, resources arriving at the right time, ideas flowing again after a dry season, contracts, approvals, confirmations that come without you losing sleep. Release can look like restoration in your home, softening where there has been tension, honesty where there has been distance, rebuilding where there has been misunderstanding. Release can look like opportunity, an invitation you did not have to campaign for, a seat you did not have to fight for, a platform that comes because I made room. Release can look like the right people, connections that are not impressed by your performance but drawn to your purpose, relationships that do not make you anxious, conversations that do not leave you analyzing for days. And I want you to catch this, my child, the proof that it is. My release is that you can breathe while it happens. You can sleep while it unfolds. You can remain yourself while you step into it. You do not have to abandon your dignity to receive it. You do not have to rush ahead of wisdom to secure it. You will not have to grasp. You will not have to compete. You will not have to explain why you deserve it. I am not bringing you crumbs. I am bringing you what was prepared. I am not bringing you a door you must force. I am bringing you a door that opens because I am the one holding the key. So lay down the old posture, my beloved child. Lay down the clenched hands. Lay down the rehearsed speeches. Lay down the anxiety that says, if I don't do more, it won't happen. You have done enough. You have carried enough. Now I am inviting you into a different kind of strength, the strength of surrender, the strength of peace, the strength of trusting that what is yours cannot miss you when you are walking with me. Stay with me, because I am going to make this even more tangible for you. I am going to show you what is being released, how it may arrive, and what it will feel like when it is truly aligned, so you do not call peace boring, so you do not call stability too quiet, so you do not mistake my gentleness for delay. What is coming will not drain you. It will confirm you. It will steady you. It will restore your confidence. And you will know it is me, because you will not have to chase it. You will simply receive it. Now listen closely, my beloved child, because I am not speaking to you in vague hope. I am not teasing you with a cloud you cannot touch. I am making this tangible for you, because I want your heart to settle, and I want your mind to stop assuming the worst every time I say, I am about to move. What is being released is multi-dimensional. It is not one small answer in one small corner of your life. It is restoration where you thought time stole too much. It is provision where you thought you would always be behind. It is opportunity where you thought you were forgotten. It is the right people where you thought you would always have to carry relationships alone. I am restoring what was delayed, and I am adding what is aligned, and you will recognize it because it will come with peace and confirmation. Some of you, I am releasing provision in a way that does not humiliate you. Hear me. I am not just sending money. I am sending order. I am not just sending a check. I am sending stability. I am not just helping you survive. I am teaching you how to steward what you prayed for, so you do not keep cycling through lack and panic. For some of you, this looks like debt lifting little by little in a way that is steady, not frantic. For some of you, this looks like a better structure, an open door, a raise, a new client, a new stream, an idea that actually works, a resource that arrives right when you were about to give up. And it will not be flashy to impress people, but it will be faithful to heal you. It will be enough to let you breathe again. It will be enough to let you exhale without guilt. Because I heard the prayers you whispered over bills. I saw the way you tried to stretch what was not stretching. I saw you choosing integrity when nobody would have known. And I am releasing provision with peace on it, not pressure on it. And some of you, I am releasing career doors and purpose doors, doors that come with clarity, not confusion. Doors where you do not have to shrink your gift to be tolerated. Doors where your voice will not be mocked. Doors where your ideas will not be stolen and your effort will not be dismissed. I am bringing you into rooms where you will not have to introduce yourself 10 times before someone finally sees you. And yes, it may begin as a conversation, a message, an invitation. A simple, "Are you available?" that looks small, but it carries weight. Do not despise how I started. Do not overlook the door, because it does not come wrapped in the same packaging you imagined. Remember, I am not only opening the door, I am aligning the environment. I am positioning you where your work can breathe, where your gift can grow, where your consistency can finally produce fruit instead of constant resistance. And for others, what I am releasing is healing. Healing you have been trying to talk yourself out of needing. Healing in your emotions. Healing in your nervous system. Healing in the part of you that has been bracing for disappointment even on good days. I am restoring your ability to trust without losing discernment. I am restoring your ability to hope without feeling foolish. I am restoring your sleep. I am restoring your appetite for life. I am restoring the sound of your laughter, the light in your eyes, the softness you thought you had to sacrifice just to make it through. You have been functioning, yes, but you have not been free. And I am not just answering the surface request. I am touching the root, because I do not merely want you to receive the blessing, I want you to be well enough to enjoy it. And some of you, I am releasing restoration in your home, in your family, in relationships that have been strained, complicated, and heavy. Not every story will look the same, but hear me. I am able to soften what you could not soften. I am able to restore honest conversation where there has only been distance. I am able to rebuild trust where there has been misunderstanding. And for some of you, restoration will also look like holy closure, peace, where you kept trying to force reconciliation without safety. Because I am not calling you back into chaos, I am calling you into wholeness. I am teaching you the difference between love and loss of self. I am teaching you that restoration does not mean returning to the old pattern. It means returning to truth. And I am releasing creative fruitfulness and clarity, especially to those of you who felt like you lost your fire. You have been staring at blank pages. You have been trying to create with a tired spirit. You have been trying to build while carrying grief. And you wondered why the flow stopped. It did not stop because you were empty. It paused because I was protecting the purity of what I am putting through you. I am breathing on your ideas again. I am giving you strategy again. I am giving you language again. I am giving you stamina again. I am giving you the courage to begin again without punishing yourself for the season when you could only survive. The fruit is coming, my child, not forced fruit, but ripe fruit. Fruit that lasts. Fruit that feeds others without starving you. And yes, my beloved child, I am bringing the right people. Not people who love what you do but disregard who you are. Not people who are entertained by your gift but jealous of your growth. Not people who keep you guessing, testing, performing, proving. I am bringing relationships that feel safe, mutual, clear, honoring, aligned, conversations that do not leave you anxious, connections that do not require you to shrink, people who can celebrate you without competing with you, people who can correct you without condemning you, people who can cover you without controlling you, and you will know they are right because your spirit will not have to fight for basic respect. Your boundaries will not be treated like an offense. Your no will not be punished. Your presence will not be used. It will be valued. Do you understand what I am saying? The loneliness was not your punishment. The isolation was not my abandonment. The solitude was preparation. I had to separate you from voices that were shaping you into fear. I had to quiet the noise so you could hear me again. I had to break your addiction to being needed so you could remember what it means to be loved. And now, community becomes activation. Now, the right alignment becomes acceleration. Now, the connections I send will not distract you from your assignment. They will ignite it, they will strengthen it, they will confirm it. But hear me, because this is the order of heaven. It will arrive when you can recognize it and keep it, not when you can grab it for a moment and then lose it in anxiety, not when you are so desperate that you call anything answered prayer. It will come when you can discern. It will come when you can steward. It will come when you can receive without clenching, when you can hold without fear, when you can say, thank you, without immediately whispering, but how long will it last? Because I am not giving you something to tease you. I am establishing something in your life that can remain. And this is where I need you to stay with me, because as the release gets closer, something else tends to rise up: fear. Fear that says, what if it falls apart again? Fear that says, what if I finally get it and I cannot keep it? Fear that says, what if I'm not ready? My child, do not be ashamed of that feeling, but do not be led by it, because the last gate before receiving is often the trembling you feel when you realize it might actually happen. So take a breath and let me talk to that fear next, so you can receive what I am releasing with a protected heart and a steady mind. Now listen, my beloved child, this fear you feel is not proof that something is wrong. It is proof that something is changing. Fear is often the last gate before receiving, because the moment you begin to realize it might actually happen, your old pain tries to speak louder than my promise. And I need you to hear me clearly. Your fear is understandable, but it is not a prophecy. Your nervous system remembers disappointment. Your mind remembers the times you finally exhaled and then something shifted. Your heart remembers the almost that turned into silence. So when I bring the new, when I bring the aligned, when I bring the answered prayer with peace on it, part of you flinches not because you are ungrateful, but because you have learned to brace. You have learned to protect yourself by expecting the withdrawal. You have learned to stay on edge so you won't feel foolish if it doesn't last. But I am healing you from survival that masquerades as wisdom. I see your fear. I see the way you hesitate when things start going right. I see you overthinking the tone of a message, rereading a conversation, analyzing a moment, trying to find the hidden problem before it finds you. I see you sabotaging what is gentle because you are more familiar with what is intense. I see you assuming this won't last before it even has a chance to live. I see you questioning motives, questioning timing, questioning yourself, because you do not want to be hurt again. And I am not condemning you for that. I am not shaming you for that. I am simply taking your hand and saying, look at me, because you are not walking into the new alone. I am holding your hand. Do you understand what I am saying? The trembling is not a sign to turn back. The trembling is a sign you are stepping out of an old pattern. And what feels like discomfort is actually my hand guiding you. You thought the new would arrive with fireworks, with noise, with instant certainty that leaves no room for questions. But many times, the new I bring arrives like quiet, like space, like simplicity, like a clean yes, like a door that opens without you begging it to. And because you have lived so long in anxiety, you are tempted to interpret unfamiliar peace as danger. You are tempted to say, why is it so calm? Why is it so clear? Why aren't I panicking? And you think calm must mean you're missing something. No, my child. Calm can mean you are finally safe. Calm can mean you are finally aligned. Calm can mean you are finally being led instead of chased. Hear me. Do not mislabel my peace. Do not call stability a threat just because chaos used to feel normal. Do not call gentleness suspicious just because harshness used to be common. Do not call consistency boring just because dysfunction used to keep your adrenaline high. I am teaching you a new language. I am teaching you what it feels like when you are not performing for love, when you are not negotiating for clarity, when you are not fighting for basic kindness. And yes, it may feel strange at first, because your body is used to guarding, but I am retraining your spirit to rest. And let me address the voice that keeps whispering, but what if it falls apart? My child, that is not discernment, that is fear, rehearsing loss. Discernment is calm. Discernment is clear. Discernment does not need to spiral to be accurate. If I am warning you, I will warn you with peace, not panic. If I am redirecting you, I will redirect you with clarity, not confusion. The enemy pushes you into frantic conclusions, into sleepless nights, into mental movies that have not happened. But I lead you beside still waters. I restore your soul. I steady your thoughts. I confirm my path. So, when you feel the urge to catastrophize, when you feel the pull to pull away first, to end it before it can end you, to reject it before it can reject you, pause, breathe, and let my peace be louder than your past. Because some of you are standing at the edge of the very thing you asked me for, and the only reason you are hesitating is because it does not come with the familiar pain you thought was required. You thought breakthrough had to cost you sleep. You thought love had to cost you dignity. You thought provision had to come with constant pressure. You thought opportunity had to come with compromise. But I am showing you another way. I am showing you what it looks like when I do it. And I am telling you, you do not have to punish yourself to prove you're ready. You do not have to stay afraid to stay prepared. You can be ready and still be at peace. So here is your instruction, and I am saying it gently, but I am saying it firmly. Do not rush to control what I am unfolding. Do not reach for the steering wheel the moment the road changes. Do not start forcing outcomes, demanding timelines, pressing people, over-explaining yourself, overcommitting, overgiving, just to calm your fear. That is the old way. That is striving, wearing a new outfit. Stay ready without forcing the outcome. Stay faithful without gripping. Stay open without abandoning discernment. Let your yes be clean. Let your no be honored. Let your pace be led by peace. Practically, my child, I want you to watch what happens in you when good news comes. When you receive an invitation, when you see the door opening, when you feel the shift, do you immediately start preparing for the disappointment? Do you immediately start thinking of 10 ways it could go wrong? Do you immediately start trying to earn what I am giving? That is the moment to surrender again. Not with a dramatic performance, but with a simple prayer in your breath. Father, I receive. Father, I trust you. Father, lead me. And then move with wisdom, not urgency. Respond when I tell you to respond. Wait when I tell you to wait. Speak when I tell you to speak. Be silent when I tell you to be silent. This is how you stay ready, by staying close. And I am telling you now, the new you are stepping into will require courage, but not the kind of courage that is loud. The courage you need is the courage to let yourself be happy without flinching. The courage to let yourself hope without apologizing. The courage to believe that I can be good to you consistently. The courage to stop checking the door every 5 minutes to see if it is about to close. The courage to stop living like you are one mistake away from losing everything, my child. I am not dangling a blessing over your head. I am not playing games with your heart. I am not teasing you with peace, just to snatch it away. I am establishing you. So when fear rises, do not bow to it. When fear speaks, do not crown it. When fear says, "This is too good," you answer it with truth. It is not too good, it is God. When fear says, "It won't last," you answer it with faith. What God gives me, He teaches me to steward, and He protects what He releases. When fear says, "I'm not ready," you answer it with surrender. God is holding my hand. Because you are not stepping into the new by yourself. You are stepping into it with me. And the way you will know you are walking correctly is this. Even while you are stretching, even while you are learning, even while you are unfamiliar, there will be a steadying underneath you. There will be a quiet strength in you. There will be peace leading you forward. Stay with me, because I am going to show you how to carry this posture into your next steps, how to release control without becoming passive, how to keep faith without forcing, how to follow peace, so you recognize the door and you walk through it with a protected heart and a steady mind. Now stay close, my beloved child, because I am not only calming you, I am directing you. I am not only comforting you, I am giving you an assignment. And I need you to understand this. The next step is not striving. The next step is surrender and obedience to peace. That is your posture in this moment. Release control, keep faith, follow peace. Not one of these without the other. Release control so you stop wrestling what I am already handling. Keep faith so you do not interpret the quiet as a reversal. Follow peace so you do not mistake urgency for instruction. Release control means you stop trying to force certainty before you move. It means you stop demanding that everything makes sense before you obey. It means you stop reaching for outcomes, as if the outcome is your savior. Hear me. You do not need to manage what I have already measured. You do not need to grip what I have already secured. You do not need to over-explain yourself to get what I ordained for you. Some of you have been praying for an open door, and then the moment it cracks open, you rush to control how it must look, how it must happen, who must affirm it, and how quickly it must arrive. But I am saying to you, do not rush ahead of me, and do not shrink back behind me. Walk with me. So here is what you will do, and I am making it simple on purpose. Pray and then listen. Not a prayer that is only talking. A prayer that makes room for my voice. A prayer that says, Father, I yield. A prayer that says, order my steps. A prayer that says, make the next instruction unmistakable. And then, when I nudge you, when I prompt you, when I put a name on your heart, when I bring a thought back to you again and again, when I highlight a small action you have been postponing, you obey it. You obey the small prompt. You send the email. You make the call. You update the resume. You clean the space. You write the first page. You apply. You show up. You have the conversation. You set the boundary. You take the walk, you return to the habit, because breakthrough often rides on obedience that looks ordinary. And I know you want the big confirmation. I know you want the loud sign. I know you want me to write it across the sky so you never doubt again. But I am training you to recognize me in peace. Confirmation will come through peace, repetition, and alignment, not confusion. When it is me, it will not make you feel split in half. When it is me, it will not require you to betray your conscience. When it is me, you will not have to decode manipulation. When it is me, it will not produce a constant heaviness in your chest. It may stretch you, yes. It may require courage, yes. But it will carry a clean witness in your spirit. It will feel like clarity settling in, like fog lifting, like your breathing returning. And you will notice that the same instruction keeps coming back gently, firmly, because I am consistent. I do not play games with your discernment. Keep faith, my child. Keep faith means you do not make a doctrine out of one delayed day. Keep faith means you do not come into agreement with disappointment just because you have waited a long time. Keep faith means you keep your heart soft, even while you remain wise. Some of you have been tempted to prepare by becoming numb. You have been tempted to protect yourself by lowering your expectations. You have been tempted to call hopelessness maturity. But I am telling you, that is not wisdom. That is fear trying to survive. Faith is not loud, but it is steady. Faith shows up again tomorrow. Faith prays again. Faith does what is right again. Faith keeps your lamp filled, even when the room is still dark. So I am instructing you in routine faithfulness. Do not wait to see something shift before you become consistent. Be faithful now. Wake up and give me your first thoughts. Guard what enters your ears. Guard what enters your eyes. Stop feeding the part of you that spirals. Stop revisiting old conversations just to injure yourself again. Stop checking on what I already delivered you from. Some of you keep reopening doors I closed, just to see if they are still closed. My child, let them stay shut. That is not curiosity, that is captivity. I closed it because it could not carry your future. Leave it. Maintain your boundaries, and do not apologize for them. Because in this new season, your peace is not optional, it is protection. When I begin releasing what you cried for, there will be people who want access without honor. There will be voices that want proximity without covenant. There will be invitations that look flattering but are actually draining. And this is where following peace becomes discernment in action. You do not say yes because you are afraid of missing out. You do not say yes because you are afraid of being misunderstood. You say yes when my peace witnesses. You say no when my peace withdraws. You move when I say move. You rest when I say rest. You speak when I say speak. You stay quiet when I say be still. And in this, you will remain centered while doors open. Do not rush ahead of me, hear me, and do not shrink back when I open the door. Some of you have two extremes. You either push the door until you are bruised, or you stand outside the door because you are afraid to hope. But I am healing you into the middle way, obedience. When I open the door, walk through it with a steady mind. Do not sprint in panic, and do not hesitate in unbelief. Walk one step, then the next. And if you do not see the whole staircase, you take the step I lit. That is how I lead. That is how you learn to trust me again, not by controlling the entire journey, but by obeying the next instruction. And I am telling you something else, because you are going to need this in the hours and days ahead. When the release is near, the resistance often gets loud. When you finally stop striving, accusation tries to pull you back into performance. When you finally choose peace, the enemy tries to call your peace laziness. When you finally accept that I am bringing it, fear tries to rush you, and pride tries to prove you. You will feel it pressure in the mind, old shame knocking, old memories rising, old voices saying, "Who do you think you are?" And it's too late, and you missed it, and you'll lose it, and you're not ready. But this is not proof you are off track. This is often proof the door is opening. So as you release control, keep faith, and follow peace, I want you to do this. Do not argue with accusation, refuse it. Do not entertain it, cast it down. Do not negotiate with it, replace it. Replace it with truth. I am led, I am covered, I am not behind. I will not rush what God is building. I will not retreat from what God is opening. I will not betray my peace to prove my worth. Because your assignment right now is not to fight for what I have already promised. Your assignment is to stay aligned while I bring it to you. Stay consistent, my beloved child. Keep doing the small obedient things that nobody applauds. Keep showing up in prayer. Keep showing up in integrity. Keep showing up in preparation. Keep your space ready. Keep your heart clean. Keep your hands open. And watch how I begin to confirm you through peace that remains, through repeated nudges that grow clearer, through aligned opportunities that do not require you to compromise, through conversations that suddenly become simple, through doors that open without you begging. And stay with me, because I need you to be ready for what comes next. As you choose this posture, surrender without passivity, the pushback will try to increase, the pressure will try to rise, but you will not be moved. You will not be shaken. You will recognize it for what it is: noise before new, accusation before access, resistance before release. And I am about to teach you how to stand your ground when that pressure increases, so you do not interpret warfare as failure, and you do not step back from the very threshold I have brought you to. Now hear me, my beloved child, because I am not going to let you misread this moment. If the pressure increased, it is because the door is opening. If the warfare got louder, it is because you got closer. If the distractions multiplied, it is because you are nearing a threshold that will change your life. The pushback is not proof of failure. The pushback is evidence you are approaching a new door, and I need you to stop interpreting resistance as rejection. I need you to stop assuming that difficulty means you made the wrong choice. Sometimes the only reason the resistance shows up is because you finally stopped settling. You finally stopped shrinking. You finally stopped circling the same mountain, and you took one obedient step toward what I promised you. I know the pattern, and I am naming it so you do not fall for it. Right before breakthrough, doubt tries to become a flood. Thoughts you already overcame try to return as if they have authority. Questions you already surrendered try to re-enter your mind like they belong there. Old temptations show up dressed as relief. Old distractions show up dressed as just a break. Old connections try to resurface, not because they are sent for your good, but because they can sense you slipping out of their reach. And discouragement tries to hit you suddenly, heavy, irrational, like a blanket over your spirit, making you forget every confirmation I have already given you. You will wake up and feel it for no reason. You will feel tired before you even begin. You will feel the urge to scroll, to numb, to delay, to procrastinate, to pick a fight, to overthink, to revisit an old wound, to reopen a closed door, to entertain an old voice. And I am telling you, do not call that random. Recognize it. That is the enemy trying to interrupt your consistency because he cannot stop what I have ordained. But he will try to wear you down before you walk through. Listen carefully. Resistance does not mean you are wrong. Resistance often means you are right and you are close. The enemy does not waste warfare on doors that do not matter. He does not assign heavy pressure to people who are content to stay small. He does not intensify distraction when your obedience is harmless. But you are not harmless. You are aligned, and alignment threatens what has been feeding off your confusion. So yes, the pressure increased. But I am telling you what it means. The door is opening, and the opposition is panicking because you are about to step into what you used to only cry about. So stand your ground, my child. Not in your own strength, not in your own anxiety, not in frantic striving, but in my authority. Stand in what I said, not in what you feel at midnight. Stand in what I promised, not in what your past is rehearsing. Because you are not fighting for a blessing I am unsure about. You are standing in agreement with a release I have already prepared, and I am placing my protection over you as you stand. Hear my word as reassurance over your life. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Not the weapon of accusation, not the weapon of distraction, not the weapon of intimidation, not the weapon of delay, not the weapon of confusion. It may form, yes. It may try to threaten, yes. But it will not prosper. It will not complete its assignment. It will not take you out. It will not steal what I have sealed. Now I am going to get practical with you, because spiritual resistance often comes through ordinary openings. Guard your mouth, because some of you have been bleeding faith through your words. You have been speaking like the battle is bigger than me. You have been confessing defeat while asking me for victory. You have been cursing your own season with statements you call realistic. My child, you do not have to pretend. you can be honest with me. But do not partner with hopelessness. Do not narrate your life like you are abandoned when I have been carrying you. Do not announce, "It's never going to happen," when heaven is already moving pieces. Speak wisely. When you feel weak, say, "Father, strengthen me." When you feel tempted, say, "Father, deliver me." When you feel confused, say, "Father, lead me." But do not let your mouth agree with fear. Your mouth is a gate. Guard it. Guard your focus. Some of you are losing battles you do not need to fight because you keep staring at what I told you to leave behind. You keep watching what hurts you. You keep reading what disturbs you. You keep checking what triggers you. You keep entertaining opinions that I never asked you to carry, and you wonder why your peace is leaking. My child, protect your eyes, protect your ears, protect your attention. Your focus is a seed. What you focus on grows. So in this hour, you will not water anxiety. You will not feed comparison. You will not rehearse offense. You will not scroll yourself into emptiness and call it rest. Bring your mind back. Bring your heart back. Bring your attention back to me. Guard your sleep, because the enemy loves a tired believer. He loves a mind that is exhausted, because exhaustion makes you impulsive. Exhaustion makes you emotional. Exhaustion makes you interpret everything as a threat. So I am instructing you, treat your rest like protection. Shut down what you need to shut down. Turn off what you need to turn off. Stop giving late-night access to voices that make you spiral. Some of you are being attacked in the night because you keep leaving the door open through worry, through endless thinking, through endless checking. Lay your head down and let me keep watch. I do not sleep, my child. I do not slumber. You are safe to rest. And when you rest, you recover discernment. When you rest, you regain clarity. When you rest, you stop reacting and you start hearing me again. And guard your peace with boundaries, because peace is not a mood. Peace is a boundary line. Peace is a signal. Peace is a witness. So if something keeps pulling you into chaos, step back. If someone keeps baiting you into explaining yourself, be quiet. If an invitation is flattering but heavy, say no. If a conversation keeps contaminating your joy, end it. If a relationship keeps demanding access while dishonoring your heart, close the gate. Some of you keep calling it love while it keeps robbing you. But I am teaching you, protection is not only what I do around you, protection is also what you choose within you. Choose what preserves your assignment. Now listen to me, because this is the moment where many lose their footing. Right before the door opens, the enemy tries to rush you or freeze you. He will rush you into an argument. He will rush you into an impulsive decision. He will rush you into spending, into messaging, into reacting, into proving. Or he will freeze you with heaviness and say, wait until you feel confident. But you do not wait for confidence. You move with obedience. And you do not move with panic. You move with peace. Stand your ground. Do not react. Do not retaliate. Do not spiral. Do not run back to what I delivered you from just because your nervous system recognizes it. This pressure is temporary. This resistance is a sign. This is the shaking before settling. This is the noise before new. So, I want you to prepare your spirit right now, because we are about to seal this with your mouth. We are about to put words on what I have been building in you. And when you speak what is true, you will feel the fog break. When you declare what I say, you will feel your spine strengthen. Because this is not the hour to whisper in fear. This is the hour to agree with heaven. Stay with me, my beloved child. Take a breath. Set your face like flint. Quiet your mind. And get ready to speak, because I am about to place declarations in your mouth that will mark the end of delay and the beginning of release. Now speak, my beloved child. Do not keep this in your thoughts. Do not let this stay as a quiet hope that fear can steal at night. Put this in your mouth, because your mouth is not only for survival, it is for agreement. And when you agree with what I am doing, you silence what delay has been saying. You have listened long enough to the voice that told you, it's too late. You have listened long enough to the voice that told you, nothing is moving. You have listened long enough to the voice that told you, God forgot. Now you will speak what I say, and you will feel something shift inside you. Let these words rewire your expectation. Let these words reset your posture. Let these words mark the end of one season and the beginning of another. So repeat after me slowly and mean it. Say, the delay is not my denial. The delay was my alignment. Say, I am not behind, I am positioned. Say, I am not forgotten, I am seen. Say, my tears were counted and my prayers were heard. Say, what I cried for is being released with peace and confirmation. Say, I will not chase what God is bringing. I will receive what God prepared. Say, I release the timeline and I receive the instruction. Say, I release the panic and I receive the peace. Now say this, my child, because I need your spirit to come into agreement with your future. Say, clarity is coming to my mind. Say, confusion is lifting from my path. Say, I will recognize the door because it will come with peace. Say, I will not force what is not mine. Say, I will not beg for what is ordained. Say, I will not settle for counterfeit just because I am tired of waiting. Say, I am being led. Say, I am being guided. Say, I am being kept. Say, my steps are ordered and my discernment is awake. And speak this over your strength, because you have been tired in a way you did not even know how to explain. Say, my strength is renewed. Say, my breath is returning. Say, my hope is steady. Say, I will not collapse at the doorway. Say, I will not sabotage what is gentle. Say, I will not pull away from consistency. Say, I am healing from survival. Say, I am learning rest without guilt. Say, I am allowed to be at peace and still be prepared. Say, I am not bracing for loss. I am preparing to steward what God releases. Now hear me, and say this with authority, because I am putting a boundary in your spirit. Say, I reject the spirit of delay. Say, I reject the voice of accusation. Say, I reject the lie that it will never happen. Say, I reject the fear that makes me rush. Say, I reject the heaviness that makes me freeze. Say, I will not return to what God delivered me from. Say, I will not reopen doors God closed. Say, I will not water anxiety with my attention. Say, I will not partner with hopelessness and call it realism. Say, I stand my ground and I stay aligned. Now declare your identity, because you will not step into the next season with the old name the enemy tried to put on you. Say, I am chosen. Say, I am protected. Say, I am covered. Say, I am not overlooked. Say, I am not disqualified. Say, I am not too late. Say, I am not too much. Say, I am not impossible to love. Say, I carry purpose and I carry peace. Say, my life will not be marked by constant striving. Say, I will be known by fruit, by wisdom, by stability, by favor that does not require me to compromise. Now speak this over your doors, because some doors are opening quietly, and I do not want you to miss them by looking for chaos. Say, the right door is opening. Say, it is opening in peace. Say, it is opening with confirmation. Say, it is opening with provision. Say, it is opening with timing I could not have forced. Say, what is for me will not evade me. Say, what God has for me will find me where He positions me. Say, I will not be manipulated into premature decisions. Say, I will not be pressured into a yes that contaminates my peace. Say, I will move when God says move, and I will wait when God says wait. And now, my child, declare what I am doing in your relationships and your assignment, because I am not only releasing things, I am releasing people, and I am releasing alignment. Say, God is sending aligned people into my life. Say, God is removing dishonor from my circle. Say, God is restoring honorable connection. Say, I will not have to beg for basic respect. Say, I will not have to shrink to be chosen. Say, I will not have to perform to be kept. Say, I am surrounded by wisdom. Say, I am surrounded by covenant. Say, I am surrounded by people who celebrate what God placed in me, not people who compete with it. Say, my gift will make room for me. Say, favor is on me, and I will not strive to prove it. Now speak this, because I am teaching you how to receive without fear. Say, I receive without rushing. Say, I receive without guilt. Say, I receive without self-sabotage. Say, I receive without needing to understand every detail first. Say, I receive with gratitude and with discernment. Say, I will steward what I prayed for. Say, I will protect my peace as I prosper. Say, I will remain humble as doors open. Say, I will remain obedient as my influence grows. Say, I will not be moved by the noise. Say, I will be anchored by the voice of God. And one more time, because I want this to settle like a seal on your chest. Say, the delay is ending. Say, the release is beginning. Say, peace will lead me. Say, confirmation will follow me. Say, what belongs to me will not require me to bleed to keep it. Say, what God is releasing will come with His protection. Say, my season is shifting, and I will not be afraid. Yes, my beloved child, let those words sit in you. Let them correct what disappointment trained you to expect. Let them break agreement with the old narrative. Because declarations are not noise, they are alignment. They are you taking your place. They are you refusing to let your emotions write prophecies over your life. And now that you have spoken, now that you have agreed, now that you have sealed this with your mouth, now let me cover you, spirit, mind, and next steps. Now let me pray over your breakthrough and your protection, so you do not only receive the release, but you keep it with wisdom and peace. Now, my beloved child, come close, because you have spoken what I said, and now I will lift you into prayer, where your private pain becomes surrendered faith, and where the weight you have carried alone is placed back into my hands. You are not going to hold this by yourself anymore. You are not going to keep trying to be strong in the places I never asked you to strive. I am here, I have been here, and I am about to turn what you survived into what will testify. Father, in the name of Jesus, I bring my child before you. I bring the one who has waited while smiling, the one who has encouraged others while feeling empty, the one who has tried to make peace with disappointment because the waiting felt too heavy. Father, touch the places that still ache. Touch the places that still feel embarrassed for hoping. Touch the places that still replay the almost, the not yet, the I thought it was time. Bring comfort where grief has been quiet. Bring closure where questions have been loud. Heal the fatigue of waiting, the tired that sleep did not fix, the tired that vacations did not fix, the tired that came from carrying expectation and delay at the same time. I release rest into their bones. I release relief into their chest. I release gentleness into their mind. Let the nervous system that learned to brace begin to exhale. Let the heart that learned to protect itself begin to soften again without fear. And Father, I ask you to redeem every tear. You are the God who sees what no one else saw. You are the God who noticed what they wiped away quickly. You are the God who listened to the prayers they whispered into a pillow so nobody would hear them break. Your word says you keep their tears in your bottle, that you record them, that not one drop is wasted. Psalm 56:8. So now, Father, honor what they endured. Do not let their tears remain only pain. Turn them into testimony. Turn them into wisdom. Turn them into clarity. Turn them into the very evidence that you were faithful all along. Let what tried to shame them become what strengthens them. Let what tried to silence them become what gives them voice. Let what was hidden become a story of your goodness, that they will speak with peace, not bitterness. Now, Father, I pray for alignment, clean, undeniable alignment. Bring the right timing, not rushed timing. Bring the right door, not the loud door. Bring the right people, not the convenient people. Bring the right steps, not the busy steps. I ask you to remove counterfeit opportunities that look like answers but carry sorrow. Close every door that requires compromise. Close every door that feeds their ego but starves their spirit. Close every door that would make them feel chosen for a moment but drained for a lifetime. And open the doors that are prepared, doors that recognize them, doors that value them, doors that come with provision and integrity, doors that do not demand they abandon their peace to enter. Align them with helpers. Align them with covenant relationships. Align them with mentors and friends who are safe. Align them with rooms where their gift is welcomed, where their presence is honored, where their obedience is supported. Father, where there has been confusion, I ask you for clarity. Where there has been mixed signals, I ask you for confirmation. Where there has been fear, I ask you for courage that is not loud but steady. Let them hear you without strain. Let them recognize you without anxiety. Train their discernment to rest in truth. I ask you to quiet every competing voice, every voice of comparison, every voice of accusation, every voice of you missed it, every voice of it won't last, every voice of you're not ready. Replace it with your voice, the voice that brings peace even when it brings change. Give them the grace to move without panic. Give them the humility to wait without bitterness. Give them the boldness to say no without guilt. Give them the wisdom to say yes without over-explaining. Let them follow peace like a pillar of fire, clear, consistent, guiding them out of old patterns and into new stability. And Father, I pray for breakthrough with comfort, not breakthrough with trauma. I pray for release that does not require them to bleed to keep it. I pray for restoration that reaches into the places they stopped talking about because it hurt too much. Bring back what was lost in the waiting joy, confidence, creativity, expectancy, healthy desire. Restore the parts of them that went quiet. Restore the parts of them that felt overlooked. Restore the faith that got tired of being brave. And as you release what they cried for, let it come with peace and confirmation. Let it come with a settled witness in their spirit. Let it come with repetition and alignment. Let it come without manipulation. Let it come without confusion. Let it come like sunrise, steady, certain, undeniable. Now, Father, I place their heart in your hands. Heal disappointment so it does not become a filter that twists every new opportunity. Heal the grief of what did not work out so they do not punish what is finally working. Heal the regret of time so they do not rush to make up for years. Teach them to receive without suspicion. Teach them to receive without self-sabotage. Teach them to receive without waiting for the other shoe to drop. Let them know they are safe with you. Let them know they are not a mistake. Let them know you are not mocking them with delay. You are aligning them with something that could hold. And now that alignment is producing fruit. And I speak comfort over them tonight. I speak peace over their home. I speak calm over their mind. I speak holy closure over the chapters that ended painfully. I speak strength over their next step. I speak steady faith over their mornings. I speak protection over their emotions, so they do not get pulled back into old narratives. Let the heaviness lift. Let the fog break. Let the joy return in small, honest measures, real joy, rooted joy, not performative joy. Let them feel you near. Let them feel held. Let them feel seen. And now, my beloved child, stay with me because prayer does not only open the door, it prepares your hands to carry what comes through it. You have surrendered the pain. You have placed the timeline in my care. You have turned hidden tears into faith. And because you have done that, there is room now, room for release, room for peace, room for confirmation. Do not pick the weight back up. Do not go back to striving as if this prayer changed nothing. This prayer moved heaven over what you could not move with effort. So breathe and let your heart settle, because next, I am going to cover what is coming. I am going to place protection over your release and wisdom over your next yes, so you not only receive what you cried for, but you keep it, you steward it, and you walk in it with quiet confidence and lasting peace. Now let me cover what is coming, my beloved child, because I do not only open doors, I guard what I open. I do not only place blessing in your hands, I teach your hands how to hold it, without dropping it, without rushing it, without bruising it with fear. You have been through too much to finally arrive and then lose it to distraction. You have waited too long to finally receive and then sabotage it because your heart is still bracing for pain. So come close and let me place a final covering over your release and wisdom over your next yes, so what I am bringing does not become another cycle, but becomes stability, fruit, and peace. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift my child to you again, and I ask for protection over everything you are releasing. Protect the blessing from hidden sabotage, sabotage that looks like overthinking, like rushing, like trying to control every outcome because they are afraid of being disappointed again. Protect them from the voice that whispers, "It's too good to be true," and tries to turn joy into suspicion. Protect them from distractions sent to drain their attention right when clarity is arriving. Protect them from emotional decisions made in tiredness. Protect them from premature moves, moves that feel urgent but are not appointed. Father, place a hedge around their mind so panic cannot drive the car in this season. Place a guard around their focus so they do not get pulled into unnecessary conflict, unnecessary explaining, unnecessary proving. Let their peace be preserved. Let their home be preserved. Let their sleep be preserved. Let the release come into a life that is protected, not frantic. And Father, I pray protection over their relationships as you send alignment. If there is anyone trying to access what you are building only to drain it, expose it, compete with it, or contaminate it, block that door. If there is any connection that returns only because they sense growth, only because they sense favor, only because they sense they are losing control. Father, give my child discernment without bitterness. Give them the strength to say no without explaining. Give them the courage to keep boundaries without guilt. Teach them that not every apology is a doorway, and not every familiar voice is a safe voice. Some things feel familiar because they are old, not because they are ordained. So, Father, protect them from recycled cycles. Protect them from going back to what you delivered them from, simply because it is predictable. Teach them to honor the new thing you are doing even when it requires distance from what they once tolerated. Father, I ask you to protect this release from fear. Fear that says, if I don't grab it now, I'll lose it. Fear that says, if I don't say yes immediately, the opportunity will disappear. Fear that says, if I don't keep everyone happy, I will be left again. Father, break that fear at the root. Replace it with trust. Replace it with peace. Replace it with the quiet confidence that what is for them cannot be stolen by timing tricks. What is for them will not require frantic chasing. What is for them will not be sustained by anxiety. Let them feel deeply that your blessing does not come with torment. Your voice does not come with confusion. Your leading does not come with pressure that violates peace. And now, Father, I pray for wisdom over their next yes. Wisdom to steward what you release. Wisdom to move slowly enough to stay aligned. Wisdom to ask the right questions. Wisdom to seek counsel from the right voices, voices that are godly, grounded, and safe. Give them discipline, Father, because increase without discipline becomes stress. Give them humility, because favor without humility becomes a trap. Give them patience, because what is growing needs time to root. Give them gratitude, because gratitude keeps the heart soft when things begin to change quickly. Teach them to steward their finances with wisdom. Teach them to steward their time with integrity. Teach them to steward their relationships with honor. Teach them to steward their gifts with purity. Let them not become intoxicated by momentum. Let them not mistake speed for confirmation. Let them not confuse attention for assignment. Keep them anchored. Keep them prayerful. Keep them teachable. Keep them steady. Father, I ask you to give them confirmation signals that are unmistakable. Let peace be the witness in their spirit. Let your word illuminate what is true. Let wise counsel confirm what you have spoken. Let godly alignment come with repetition, doors opening in order, provision meeting obedience, conversations aligning without manipulation, timing coming together without striving. And where a door is not for them, Father, close it clearly. Close it without confusion. Close it before they invest their heart. Close it before they compromise. Close it before they attach their identity to something you never assigned. And let them not grieve closed doors as loss when it is actually your protection. Let them say, thank you, even when it shuts, because you are saving them from future pain they do not have to learn the hard way. And Father, as you release, I ask you to guard them from small cracks, because sabotage rarely announces itself. It sneaks in through exhaustion. It sneaks in through comparison. It sneaks in through old habits of numbing. It sneaks in through doom scrolling when they should be resting. It sneaks in through overcommitting when they should be listening. So give them restraint. Give them self-control. Give them a holy pause. Teach them to wait for your yes, not just a good idea. Teach them to honor their capacity. Teach them to protect their mornings. Teach them to protect their attention. Let them not leak the very oil you poured by trying to carry everything for everyone. They are not meant to be accessible to every demand. They are meant to be faithful to your direction. Now I speak a covering over their heart as they begin to receive, because some of you are about to be tested not by lack, but by arrival. You are about to be tested by consistency, by kindness, by doors that open gently, by people who are safe, by opportunities that do not come with chaos. And the old you would have mistrusted peace. The old you would have tried to find the problem. The old you would have questioned whether you deserved it. But Father, renew their mind. Heal the reflex to brace. Heal the reflex to run. Heal the reflex to over-explain. Let them receive the good without punishment. Let them hold joy without apology. Let them step into the new without dragging old fear across the threshold. And now, my beloved child, hear me clearly as I seal this. You will not miss what I have for you. You will not be late to what I ordained. You will not be tricked out of your portion. I am guiding you, step by step. I am not shouting confusion at you. I am leading you with peace. I will make the next instruction clear. I will confirm what is mine. I will interrupt what is not. I will protect what I release, and I will teach you how to keep it. So rest your shoulders, unclench your hands, release the need to predict everything. You are not walking alone, you are walking with me. So breathe, and let this be settled in you, not as a performance, not as a moment you hype yourself into, but as a quiet arrival in your spirit. The covering is on you. The wisdom is being poured into you. The peace is leading you, and the blessing is coming in a way you can steward. If you receive this, let your heart agree with heaven now and say, Amen. Now walk out with this, my beloved child, and do not let it slip from you when you close this moment. Do not let the noise of your day come back and steal what I just settled in your spirit, because what I have spoken over you is not temporary comfort. It is alignment. It is direction. It is a holy conclusion to a season that tried to convince you that you were forgotten. You have to understand what has happened here. I interrupted you because you needed to remember who has been holding you. I reminded you because you were starting to normalize survival. I came to you because you were quietly making peace with less, and I refuse to let you delay your identity. I have seen your tears, the ones you hid, the ones you wiped quickly, the ones you cried in the dark when you did not want anyone to know you were losing strength. And I did not just see them, I counted them. I recorded them. I held them, because none of it was wasted. And the silence you felt was not my absence. It was construction behind the curtain. It was me arranging what you could not arrange. It was me preparing the exact conditions for what you asked for to arrive without destroying you. And yes, there were things I removed. There were doors I closed. There were people I allowed to drift. There were seasons where what once felt familiar suddenly felt heavy. Not because you were rejected, but because I was protecting you. Not because you were unworthy, but because what was around you could not carry your future. I was clearing space. I was cutting off what would have contaminated your peace. I was removing what would have demanded that you bleed to keep what I was trying to give you freely. And it took time, my child, because your capacity had to match your prayer. You asked me for more, and I loved you enough not to hand you more while you were still bracing, still panicking, still overcommitting, still trying to control what only I can govern. So I strengthened your inner walls. I healed your reflex to chase. I taught you how to wait without becoming bitter. I taught you how to discern without becoming hard. I taught you how to breathe again. I taught you how to recognize peace as safety, not as a trap. And now you are noticing the signs of shift. Things feel different. The confusion is lifting, the heaviness is breaking, the obsessive striving is losing its grip. You are starting to feel clarity return in small moments. You are starting to feel hope without forcing it. You are starting to feel steady instead of frantic. That is not random. That is not just a good day. That is me. That is alignment. That is the door beginning to open in a way that does not require you to panic. So hear me, and let it be your final thought as you walk back into your life. You are not behind. You are positioned. You are not late. You are aligned. And what you cried for is being released in peace and confirmation. It will not come the way fear imagined. It will not arrive with torment. It will not require you to chase it until you are empty. I am releasing it in a way you can steward. I am bringing it in a way that keeps your dignity intact. I am confirming it in a way that settles your spirit, and when it comes, you will not have to ask 10 times if it is mine, because my will carry my peace. Now, my beloved child, I want you to respond not because I need your engagement, but because your spirit needs agreement. So in the comments, write this declaration, and write it like a seal on your season. I receive God's release. My delay is over. Do not type it casually. Type it with faith. Type it as someone who is done partnering with hopelessness. Type it as someone who is stepping out of survival and into alignment. I receive God's release. My delay is over. And if you have been waiting on something specific, if there is a door, a breakthrough, a healing, a restoration, a provision, a decision, a relationship, a calling, write the word prayer and a short request. Do not carry it alone. Do not isolate with it. Let my people lift you. Let agreement surround you. Let the burden become lighter because you finally said it out loud. You are not the only one who has waited. You are not the only one who has wondered if it would ever change. And I will meet you in that request with comfort and with strategy, with peace and with confirmation. And, my child, stay connected, subscribe, because I will continue to cover you, and I will continue to confirm what I am doing. I will keep training your discernment. I will keep strengthening your peace. I will keep reminding you, when the old voice tries to return, that you are not cursed, you are called, you are not delayed, you are aligned. And share this with someone you love who is in a waiting season, because I am speaking to more than one heart through you. I will use your obedience as a lifeline for someone who is almost done hoping. And as a final act, simple but holy, like this video, as a seal that you are stepping into peace and alignment. Let it be your quiet yes. Let it be your marker in the ground that says, I will not go back to panic. I will not go back to chasing. I will not go back to doubting every good thing. I will receive what God prepared. Now go, my beloved child. Rest your shoulders. Keep your boundaries. Protect your mornings. Follow peace. Do not rush to prove anything. Do not reopen what I closed. Do not explain what I have already settled. Walk steady. Walk humble. Walk expectant. Because your waiting was wisdom, and your release will be peace. And you will look back and realize the delay was not denial. It was divine alignment. And now, what you cried for is arriving with my protection, my confirmation, and my calm. Amen.